pulse of the VI. Listen close and you will see why. The information will set you free. Stand together, never divide. Pulse VI.
Pulse VI Caribbean Superstation. If you are now joining us at 3:32, even though our show has been on for 32 minutes, we have Bria Smith in the building, Javon Klein filling in for Binta,
Yes, yes.
and BVI Chick. So it's just me, numero uno, the only host, with my other host. We're gonna kick things down a notch, I guess, or up. I guess up. So Bria.
Oh boy.
We're gonna get rid of all the, we talked about what you do at work. We talked about the scavenger hunt. What grinds your gears? What can you say? What was your most embarrassing moment in high school that you can remember?
Oh gosh. Let's get to high school. It's almost 10 years ago. Oh boy, that's a lot actually.
Oh wow.
There's a lot of embarrassing moments from high school. I was very clumsy. I'm clumsy. I think I did fall down the stairs in high school before.
New building?
The new building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did slide straight down.
I remember that day.
Yeah, I think that was pretty embarrassing.
Okay.
And Javon didn't make it any better because he was right there and he did laugh at me.
Oh, God.
with
Did you hurt
everybody
yourself?
else. Probably, but I can't remember now.
Yeah, it wasn't
I
that
felt
bad.
so much. It was like
It wasn't that bad.
another bruise.
In my defense, she would have laughed at me too.
Okay, I believe that.
Knowing Bria from high school, she's completely different now. I won't get too much into details of that, but I'll just say she was basically one of the boys. She was basically one of the boys, and she could dish it out just like the boys. She made some people cry.
Well, I watched her grow up. So I know her sister. I went to school with her sister. I know her family very well. So I saw her as a tomboy growing up, and to see her grow into this young lady.
She used to play football with us.
And softball.
Yeah.
You still play softball?
I still play softball. I've actually graduated into being on this Virgin Islands Softball Association. I serve as a Secretary General, which I have been identified in the top 38 Secretary Generals, women Secretary Generals or presidents in the entire world. So
Wow.
it says something though in sports that we only have about 38 women in high positions when it comes to sports. So
I think, Chad Letson pointed it out on this show before, that in the BVI, it's one of the rare places that you would find so many women who are leading, so many women who are taking charge. And I do think that we take it for granted in a lot of ways, because especially with the climate right now, feminine rights, and, this how females are now taking a stand to their rights and their power and their self-confidence. I think we have been miles ahead of that wave a long time ago.
I'm looking forward to the day where we don't have to have this conversation, where we don't have to have a conversation about gender,
right?
In terms of positions, in terms of leadership, in terms of people who are running the country, or people who are in charge of our day-to-day life. So I look forward to that. I look forward to when we don't have to do that. We don't have to, question if it's a female or a male that's, in charge of something. So what is one of your embarrassing moments in high school?
My embarrassing
you think this is one-way
I
interview?
love this equality.
I don't know. I don't know how many embarrassing moments I've had in high school. There's some. I don't think I ever fell in high school. All right, I'll be open. I'll be open and honest. It's actually because of this young lady right here. They used to call me kids meal in high school because I was the youngest person in my graduating year, and it was coming up to graduation, and her and two of my other friends, they gave me a brown paper bag She's laughing at me. They gave me a brown paper bag and said, "Hey, Javon, this is for prom. This is, we want you to go out and have a great time. So I'm all excited because they actually spent money on me.
Right.
I opened the bag and it was a bottle of Goba, baby food, and those finger condoms?
Yeah.
Those little things?
Yep.
That's what they gave me, and they said, go out and have a good time. And yeah, I was done for the rest of the day.
I think the finger got me.
I was done for the rest of the day, and they didn't do it like on the side. This was in the middle of. This was in theater arts class.
Okay.
Everyone was
My
there.
element.
And there was nothing I could do.
I was only responsible for the Gerber bottle. That's it.
There was nothing I could do. But
Oh man, that's horrible.
yeah.
You had a good time at prom, though. I hope. Just ask it.
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
Okay, I'll tell you one of my only embarrassing moments in high school. Sorry, I didn't have many. I sat down. I ripped my pants. I ripped my pants completely.
Tough.
I think I was in second farm. We were in the history building. I think that's where my home room was at the time. And I don't remember how I ripped my pants. I just know I sat down the entire lunchtime because I didn't want to get up at all. And everybody trying, and ask me, "Oh, Swain, you coming up for lunch?" Blah blah. Like, nah, I could. It's cool. Studying. And I want to think it was. I think when the bell rang, everybody got inside. I think I must have made some kind of excuse to leave, and I just went up the road. Like I lived in Hospital at the time, and I went up the road just holding my pants together, like just holding the back of my behind together.
Tough.
Because it had ripped literally down the middle.
Wow.
So if anybody had seen it, they'll probably just see straight boxers. You know what I mean? So that was my only embarrassing moment. I can't really think of anything else. Anything else doesn't really matter.
Nah, that's not too bad. I mean, I live close.
Yeah. Not as bad as yours, to be honest. That's horrible.
It was.
The finger condom got me.
Yeah, it was tough. So much so, one of the other girls in the class, like, she came up to me. She said, "You know what? It's okay."
You should ask her what. What is okay?
It's a joke. It's a joke, all right? It's a joke. I'm normal.
I'm normal.
Something else about Bria, though, she's an awesome writer, in my opinion. So I really want to know what she has in store when it comes to writing.
Wow, thanks for putting me on the spot there. Really appreciate it. You're a gem, Javon.
Yeah, I try. I try.
Yes, I still do have all intentions to bring out a novel. I am actually in the midst of working on a book of short stories.
Mm-hmm.
I have already gotten the titles. I think in speaking with another writer, a published writer, they was telling me that they just write and then they come up with their titles. But I actually already came up with my titles. I actually finally settled on what I want the name of the book to be. But it is a book of short stories that's going to be linked together because, short stories they all tell different stories, right. But the stories will have some sort of linkage, and though it will not be in some sort of chronological order, all the stories are connected, and that's one of the highlights of what I want to do with this book. I settled on the name Hamarsha. I don't know. As two theater arts individuals, you both should know what's a Hamarsha.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that I was definitely in the class, but not to say that I.
Robbie.
Hamarsha. Fill me in. What is a Hamarsha? Tell the people what a Hamarsha is.
Well, Hamarsha is a character flaw. The character flaw in a tragedy.
Okay.
So
fun fact of the day.
Yeah. So
I did not remember that. Honest to God.
So I did want to kind of merge my background in theater with the writing that I do want to do. So I actually was in talks with my aunt, who is helping me to find a publisher.
Okay.
So once I actually get all the things written, it's about 12 chapters. Once I do get everything put together, hopefully I should get it published in the next, I'm going to give myself 5 years. The next 5 years.
To publish.
To publish.
That's a long time.
Because I'm a stickler for,
Okay.
perfection.
Okay.
And it's all going to tell different stories. So, and I want to kind of put some sort of element of me inside of it, but not be focused on me.
Right,
You
right,
understand?
right.
So just a bunch of different situations. And a lot of the content is coming from the question of the day that I do have on Twitter.
Okay.
Because initially when I started question of the day, it was for content for a blog. Eventually it became so popular, and I kind of got so much content that I say, I should probably take the blog into something bigger and better, which I will also be bringing a video podcast named Questions That Needs Answering. So that will be our next project that I'm working on, probably in the next less than 2 years. So all of these are going to be somewhat tied in together. And a lot of the questions of the days are based on real life situations. Some persons submit questions based on their situation. They kind of want to know what other people would do or feel about it. So that's how I got a lot of my content.
Okay. Now, I have this discussion a lot with some of my colleagues at work. I want your opinion on it. How do we get our young people more involved in not just reading but writing? How do we feed that drive? How do we nurture that purpose? Because I come across a lot of young people with talent, and it's situations where they themselves don't even see it.
Right.
They're very poetic. They are, it's easy for them to come up with settings. It's easy for them to build characters, and their story flows. But they just think that it's some wish-washy thing. And then there's the other spectrum where there are kids who don't have the ability at all, to the point where it's kind of concerning. How do we make reading and writing a thing for young people? What do you think?
Well, I think what have probably deterred a lot of persons or young individuals from reading in the first place has been the fact that they have been given these books that they're not interested in.
Right.
What they don't understand is that even reading a manga, reading a comic book, all of those things are basis for reading and finding a love for reading.
I'm happy that you said manga and comic book, by the way.
Those are the things, because those are things that's still part of reading, is still a part of nurturing literacy and understanding the way that a book works, operates. So what I did when I was growing up, in getting into the writing aspect of it, was fan fiction. And fan fiction is basically recreating stories, some of your favorite stories that's already out there, and kind of rewriting the story in your own way of how you want it to be, rather than what the author originally created. And that's how I developed my love for writing so much, because I had my favorite book. And everybody who has a favorite book, they have something in there that they would have done different. Or they have a character that probably pissed you off to the max. And you're like, I wish I could change this character or do something else to this character. I wish this character would have died in the end. You can do that. So you have the power to change your favorite story with fan fiction. And instead of you trying to create something that's new for your first time in writing, you actually recreate a story that's already there. And then from there, you build on your strengths in writing. You build on your love in writing. And then eventually you will want to create your own piece of writing. So I would suggest fan fiction. There is fanfiction.net that you can go on to read some of the stories. I think the most popular one right now is Harry Potter. Then there's Twilight and the other type of series that's out there. You can even rewrite TV shows. It's not just on books alone. So any type of media or genre that you're interested in, then you can recreate any of those. It's not just stick to a book. You could do it on TV show. If you want to rewrite 7 Deadly Sins from anime, you can do that.
Perfect. There you go. That's it. 3:45, people. We're going to take another break. You're here with Javon Colleen, Bria Smith, Swain Show. It's your boy Blake is in the building. Also, Caribbean Superstation 90.9 FM. You're here with Pulse VI. We're going to take a quick break and be right back.
Pulse VI.
Pulse VI Caribbean Superstation. My mic was not on, but I'm sure you heard me from the other mics. And I came in all smooth. Anyway, you're here, we chilling. It's been a great show. It's been pretty laid back, informative. We have the last 11 minutes of the show. You're here with Bria Smith, Javon Klein, and the Swain Show. Pulse VI. So, guys, it's 11 more minutes.
Aww.
She's like, I don't want to go. Now, I know the two of you. I know both of you growing up. I know both all your siblings, basically. What has been your biggest fear growing up in the BVI?
Oh.
What has been your biggest fear as you were growing up in the BVI? What feared you the most?
Being stifled. Being stifled. Growing up, I felt like I was very kind of creative. Like a lot of my mind just never stopped. Even to this day, my dreams are just huge.
Right.
And even growing up, I was really into theater. And as you guys both should know, theater is not as celebrated, or the arts is not as celebrated in the Virgin Islands as it should be. And growing up, I just wanted to act. And I was scared that I would not be able to use my talents in the way that I wanted to be able to use them. So I thought I would have been stifled a lot, but I was able to find some sort of way to utilize my skills in communications.
Yeah.
We do need more outlets.
Yes.
We do need more outlets.
I could definitely relate to that because, when I was growing up, I didn't want to be stuck, but it was in a way of being stuck on Tortola. I didn't want to be stuck on Tortola. My perspective didn't come into line with the idea of being stifled until I went away and came back. While I was here, I didn't realize I was already stuck in my mindset, because I was accustomed of, how things were operating here. I already said I know what I wanted to be, so on and so forth. When I went away and when I came back, I started to see this territory in a different light, a good light. And that's when my mind just started to flood with ideas and
evolve.
Right, and evolve. So I would definitely say, that's the fear. And I think it's something that everyone on this island should be aware of. Don't ever just bring your wall down to the size of the BVI.
Right.
And I think a lot of people get stuck in that mindset and we lose perspective on, what we can actually do in a wall and, what's happening in other places. And, we get fixed on, how we know things to be here. And, the BVI is a beautiful place, but it's not the wall.
Yes.
It's not the entire wall, and there's a lot out there. And I tell people all the time, I tell my kids all the time, not my kids at school, I don't have kids.
I was like, what? Something I don't know?
I tell them all the time that, the thing that a lot of people see as the bad thing about the BVI is really the good thing about the BVI. There's not a lot here. So you can bring something in that you have experienced, and it's going to be new, it's going to be fresh, it's going to be something that you can promote and push. And, so, yeah, that fear of being stifled in line with what Bria is saying, definitely a fear. Yeah.
Real. I have no more questions.
What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
My biggest fear was, because to be honest, I never felt, did I feel stifled? No, I never felt stifled. I just felt like I needed to leave. I felt like I had one goal, and that one goal was just to graduate, get out, and leave. And fun fact, when I graduated high school, I was actually really surprised how high I ranked because I put no effort into high school whatsoever. I really didn't do much studying. I really didn't pay attention. I kind of just winged it. I winged high school a lot. When people were pressured, felt pressured about projects and all that, I was like, okay, I'll do it.
You know what? I could definitely relate to that.
And it's just like, I'm not that type of person. So what I did was, as I came to high school, I asked for a drama society, and they didn't have one. So I created one.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. So I guess in that way, I never felt stifled. But to answer your question, my biggest fear was falling into that hole of a drug dealer. Because we have a lot here. And at that time, it was super easy for me. And I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be the stereotypical Tatolan dude that were just running drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a very touchy topic, because we obviously see how many people got locked up this year for X amount of cash, X amount of drugs. I mean, 2 ladies just got locked up with 700 grams of greens.
Yeah.
So it's it was very easy for me to get into that. So that was my biggest fear. It's not, and I would say I have not been a drug dealer.
Congratulations.
Well, I did work at a cannabis dispensary, but that was legal.
That was legal. That's
So that
all right.
doesn't count.
No, but you know what? I think moments like this, because from my perspective, we have 3 creatives at the table right now. And, we need more people like us to really just come together and get stuff done. I'm not a person to wait on someone to say it's okay or you have permission. I'm not a person to, to deal with red tape and all of this different stuff. When I started my nonprofit, I got the idea in school. I came home and I got to it. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing, but I know I wanted to get it done.
Right.
So I was, pushing and, just trying to make things happen. And it brings me to the light of knowing that, it's the people make things happen. It's not policy, it's not rules, it's not law, it's not politicians, it's people make things happen. No matter what the politicians may put out and promote, if people decide to get something done, it's gonna get done.
Right.
And I think we underestimate the power of the power we have as a people. And I think we have lost for so long the truth of our culture when it comes to us getting things done, because we come from a culture where somebody's boat was taken away and we all went down to the governor's house to get it back, and we got it back. We come from a culture where they wanted to turn the island into a bird sanctuary, and we were like, nah. And I feel us, because we have gotten so spoiled, and we have gotten so wealthy. Thank you to all of our fathers who put in their hard work. But because we have it now, we don't have to work, and we just want the leaders to do what leaders do. But really and truly, we are the one who form the communities. So my fear right now for this territory is that we don't take our rightful place as the people that we are, that we don't get back our culture, that I fear us losing what we really have as a people and not passing it down to the next generation.
To be honest, I feel like we already have, because if someone comes to me right now and says, what is the culture of the BPI, what do I tell them? What exactly do I tell them? What is the culture of the BPI? What culture do we have?
Unfortunately, right now, you wouldn't have anything to really draw from in the present.
Right.
You go back to the past.
Right. And that's all I can do.
You said, this is what we are of. This is what we come from.
Right.
And, I definitely think that we do need to put more work in. And I'm pleading to all the politicians and all the leaders and all the community leaders who are, listening right now. Take some time to invest in the culture. Please take some time to invest in the culture, because we need it.
Right.
We need it. We need it so much. And walking in the school, you see it, and the kids want to know. They want to know, why is this that way? Why is that way? We have museums,
Yeah.
They want to know, because even as much as kids may push off good information, really what they're trying to do is find themselves.
True.
So we need to put some things in place to help them, find who they are.
Yeah. I encourage a lot of parents to listen to your kids.
Yeah.
Don't just brush them off when they say they want to do something, when they say they want to get into something. Try to pave the way for them. If you can't even afford it, like say if your son wants to grow up and he wants to be a baseball player, you gotta buy him a baseball bat, and you gotta buy him a baseball, you gotta buy him a baseball glove. Like, it's just making those little steps, because I think, as you guys say, you felt stifled. Like, what does a parent do when the kid comes home and say, hey, I want to be an actor?
Yeah,
I know what happened when I did it, but and one parent was like, you do whatever you want. The other parent was just like, How? You know, how are you going to do that? How are you going to go to the States? You don't have a green card. How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? Yada, yada, yada. So, and that obviously didn't stop me either. I still went out and I still pursued it. I'm still pursuing it. I haven't given up. People think I've given up, but I haven't. So I really encourage parents to just listen.
You have to create avenues for your kids to express themselves, you know.
Right.
And that's one of the main things of, you know, the event that I'm doing next week, Saturday, December 22nd. Art from the Ashes, we want.
Y'all hear that plug? Y'all hear that plug? Slide it all in there. Smooth as fuck,
you know. But you know.
But what is it called? What is it called again?
Art from the Ashes.
Okay.
And the heart of it is, you know, allowing the young people to, you know, express themselves. We're promoting the BVI culture. We're promoting expression. And the reason why we chose the Autism Center as the place to receive 30% of the proceeds from the event from is because autism is a condition where, you know, the individual perceives things differently.
Right.
You know, it's not that something is necessarily wrong with them, but they experience the world differently. And the best way to work with anyone who has autism is by understanding how they experience the world and allowing them to express themselves through that mode. So we just want to really promote expression. We want to promote the BVI culture, and we want to just kind of spark the fire to, you know, get all of that going again.
And guys, you can help the autism organization by joining us at the Art
From the Ashes.
From the Ashes. I knew it. I just wanted to hear you say it. Art from the Ashes at Paradise Club, 6 p.m. 22nd of December. That's next week, Saturday.
Yes, it is.
So it's been a great show, guys. Bria, thank you for coming. Javon Klein, thank you for filming. This is my last show for the year. Binta and Claudia will be here next week, Saturday. And I think they'll be here with Daryl Bess, a.k.a. Bira.
Yes.
So
Who
I'm
will also
signing
be
out
at
for the year. Swain Show. It's been great. Caribbean Superstation 90.9 FM. We really want to. I want to thank you guys. I know you guys can hear me right now. I want to thank you guys just for having us, for hosting us, having a place for us to come and actually do this show. So thank you guys. This is Swain Show saying out. Caribbean Superstation Pulse VI 90.9 FM. Goodbye.
We be the heart of the VI. Feel the pulse and you will see why. Where I from, we do it B.I.G. On each other, we could rely. Feel the pulse of the VI. Listen close and you will see why. The information will set you free. Stand together, never divide. Pulse VI.